because they're dicks.
What the fuck is that noise?
That's a damn bullfrog, boy. It's like ribbit. Drinking a couple cold beers, hanging out. Cold crack, boys. Is there something or someone out there?
Give me the God's country. Probably eating tree bark. They're eating off the land. I'm gonna say
they're making their homemade bapple.
Can you read? Did you say that?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Restart. Cut.
All right.
Cut.
Let's
okay. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. We've changed the name. Had to do a little rebranding.
Little quick rebrand. Old name. Way too long.
Way too long. That's what the kids are saying. They said this shit's too long. It's never gonna work, buddies.
I got a lot of people that called my cricket phone, told me, love the pod, name way too fucking long.
Way too fucking long.
They told me, they said, how are we going to get a knockoff Web Road t-shirt with that long-ass name on it?
Dude, you can't fit that on a t-shirt. You'd have to go front and back, and who wants to read a t-shirt front and back?
You go to Web Road, you want to buy a tall tee, you want to walk around, buy a funnel cake. Smells like cigarettes everywhere in that place. You go outside, you see the name on there? Way too damn long.
Way too long.
Way too long.
Welcome to Clocked Out Conversations. We get off work, we clock out, we come here, drink a couple beers, talk a little shit, see what happens.
That means we got a job. So that's a positive.
That's a positive. We can afford to get some more podcast equipment soon.
I just clocked out from Hardee's. The Monster Thick Burger sliding right off the shelf.
Right off the shelf. And I'll tell you what, my day wasn't easy. My day was not easy at Carl's Jr. It was not easy at all.
How many hot dogs did y'all sell today?
Dude, I bet you every bit of 600. Everybody in their brother. We had the whole park come up and get some.
I know people that they'll suck dick for that peach milkshake y'all are up there.
I've done it. I've sucked dick for the peach milkshake. Anyway, on this show, we cover a variety. It's the weird, the wild, the worrisome,
the ugly,
the good, the bad, and the ugly.
The good, the bad, the ugly.
This is Stephen.
Go ahead and announce yourself. Is your name Mandy Lynn or is it Stephen?
It's Duke or Stephen.
Okay.
Either one. Duke and Doodle over here.
My name's Cody, a.k.a. Doodle.
A.k.a. Doodle.
A.k.a. the Doodler.
That's real close to the diddler, buddy.
But, yeah, I'm Cody, and today we're digging into one of the most bizarre and unsettling legends tied to the Appalachian Mountains. We're talking about feral people. Them people that live out in the hooks, the hollers, the creeks.
They're digging, they're cutting holes in the trees, they're climbing up in there, they're sleeping in there.
They're sleeping in the trees like those little guys that make the cookies, the fantastic cookies we all love.
We love them, boys.
But we're actually, we don't live like super far from the Appalachian Mountains, really, but I guess in theory we kind of do. But compared to other places, we live in the Piedmont.
Yeah, I mean we can be either to the mountains or the beach in the same amount of time.
Yeah,
we're like dead center in both, pretty much.
Which is kind of cool.
About 3 hours. Yeah, it's cool because it's not really a big worry about hurricanes, but it's also not there's nothing really other than snow up there, but other
than when Helene hit up there
last year. That was bad.
That fucked a lot of shit up.
Rest in peace. A lot of tragedies there.
Shit was wild.
No, it was terrible.
I think it flooded so bad just because of the way
the top of the mountain didn't flood, but it washed houses down because it's not built for all that rain. And the two mountains like in between is what really
like valleys pretty much.
Yeah, and I mean they got fucked hard. I mean no shit, they really did.
Yeah, it was crazy though. A lot of people, I feel like in North Carolina, like there was a lot of like charities and toy drives and people.
You remember when I went to Georgia to volunteer for where I work at?
Mm-hmm. North Carolina strong.
Hey, we're built tough.
There's also a bird outside that I think it's about to rape somebody. It's going off the fucking charts right now.
It's scared of the zombie sitting outside.
God.
Anyway, so, we've all heard the whispers. Don't hike alone. People go missing in the Smokies all the time. Any national park people are going missing.
Yeah. That has a kind of like that. What is it? The missing 411 stuff?
Yeah. And, we all have a friend that, my uncle seen something crazy in the woods. He's seen a fucking Bigfoot or a chupacabra.
There's a lot
it happens.
There's a lot of folklore that has to do with, I kind of like anywhere they have their own folklore, but I feel like the Appalachian Mountains has like a lot of folklore, kind of.
But today we're really here to see if it's true or, just urban legends. We're going to dive deep and hard, obviously.
Very hard.
Very hard. So, so we kind of split this up into sections. It's, so the first one is going to be the theory. We should cut that for now.
The first segment is going to be the theory of feral people. All right, let's start with the big question. Are there feral humans living in the Smoky Mountains?
Hell yeah, I think there is. Honestly, I think there is.
There probably
You ever
is.
seen Popcorn Sutton?
Yeah, he made moonshine.
He's very close to feral.
You know he hung himself when he got caught that last time? Because he didn't.
I didn't know that.
He made a fucking video.
He
was called. No, he hung himself. It was called like the last. He like kept saying like, and this dude was chain smoking cigs like throughout the whole thing, like back to back hand rolled cigarettes. I had to show you that shit to you. For real, I never believe you. I couldn't believe you never seen that.
Crazy. No, I've never
but
seen that.
Some people believe there's a group or groups of wild animal-like people living deep in the woods. They don't have all the modern amenities. Okay.
No running water.
They don't have Netflix.
No toilet paper.
They ain't got toilet paper.
They're wiping their ass with poison ivy.
They're not drinking Bapple. They're drinking. They're drinking good old creek water.
Shit, if I wipe my ass enough times with fucking poison ivy leaves, I'd be a feral person.
I was going to say, it's deep out there. The more extreme version, some people even believe they're cannibals. That's what they say. And some people even say it's like a horror movie. You ever seen Wrong Turn?
Hey, Children of the Corn, they're out there, I'm telling you.
Wrong place.
Wrong place.
Good idea.
Close enough.
I was going to say, I remember there was The Descent. Remember that movie?
Yeah.
The Descent, where they went into that like cave, kind of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I remember being a kid and seeing Wrong Turn, and I thought it was kind of creepy.
But sadly, crazily enough, this isn't a campfire story. Some people tie these legends to actual disappearances in national parks. Hikers, kids, adults, just gone. They fucking vanish. People fucking vanish, and it's crazy as shit. No real answers, but who knows? We might find a couple in this sumbitch.
But on top of that, too, if you really think about it, it is... Some of the stories are like... I can kind of see maybe what happened, but some of them
are a little far-fetched.
A little wild, and we're going to talk about a couple of them
you remember that
are wild.
Before we rebranded that redheaded kid, Ryder, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
That shit was fucking insane to me.
Wasn't his name Riker Webb?
Yeah, he didn't even look the same when he came back. Like, that was a completely different person.
It's like he went, and there's a lot of people
because he wasn't gone. He was gone for 3 days and lost like all of his body weight. And, like, his crazy eyes, like fucking as big around as that microphone.
Which I understand you would be like dehydrated and stuff like that.
Yeah. But your
a lot of
body's
people,
not going to eat your fat that quick. I feel
yeah.
And it's a 3-year-old surviving in the woods though.
I don't know. I don't know. I guess you wouldn't know if you were there, but I get what you mean. It's like kind of wild.
No, it is crazy.
So,
Wild Men of the Mountains.
Yes, sir.
This whole theory seems to trace back to stories of the wild man. You ever heard the story of a wild man?
Well, I have heard the story of the wild man.
It's a little cross between Kid Rock, Joe Dirt, and a creek. It's all right. It just cuts off. Okay. It's because it's running so long.
I didn't know.
I paid the power bill.
I know. I didn't know if it was still recording.
But sightings of these wild men go back to 1877. So for a long time.
Oh yeah.
Like
no,
this ain't nothing
a long
new.
ass time, dude.
And people have described them as part man, part beast. People always claim they're hairy, violent, and impossible to catch. So just like a crackhead.
Just like one.
Hairy, hard to catch.
I'll tell you something. I know a crackhead. He used to ask me, "You want to go scrapping?" And I was a kid. Like I'm talking like fucking. I wasn't even a teenager.
Were they scrapping metal? Mm-hmm. Taking it
and he
to
said,
the scrapyard.
And I was like, "Sure, I'll go with you." And he was like, "Okay, but if you hear footsteps, you gotta go. We're not supposed to be there." I said, "You can go fuck yourself." I said, "There ain't no damn way I'm going with you."
He wanted you to come in there. He wanted you to rip out some shit from a damn air conditioning unit and run out.
Dude, I'm telling you, that boy could get your whole house stripped and be gone in 10 minutes.
There's some people though that have done that shit before, like strip stuff, and fucking didn't realize what was going on and electrocuted themselves.
Yeah,
and died.
But, Tennessee has its own flavor with like they got their own like Tennessee wild man, like Bigfoot, but like way more anger issues. They say he was last spotted about 20 years ago. I don't know. I've never heard of Tennessee
Do you
wild
think
man,
that if
personally.
you went out into the woods and rubbed yourself down with dirt and, you know, straight up threw your coffees in your lip and ran around out there, do you think people would think you were a wild man?
I think people think that about me as is.
I think
Long hair, scruffy. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, anything's possible.
You look like you escaped from Woodstock. So do I. But, so, speaking of those weird cases, one of the weirdest cases, I think, and I've heard a lot about this before, is the
Case of Dennis Martin.
He was just 6 years old and disappeared in 1969 during a family camping trip near the Tennessee-North Carolina border.
Yeah. He was actually playing a prank, hiding from his parents, but then just fucking disappeared. Like, completely fucking gone.
Gone.
They found a sack, and I think they might have found a shoe, but they never found Dennis. They never found
Yeah,
something.
still to this day they haven't found him.
His
He
body,
basically
nothing.
disappeared, other than,
Literally off the face of the earth.
which is really wild to think about. And the thing that makes it really weird is another family that didn't even know that they were like searching for this missing kid reported hearing a scream, like hearing screaming.
Oh my God! My ass!
And and the wildest thing is they seen a figure running through the woods. So like they don't even know what's going on, and they just see this like what I'd like to call
Crack baby.
backwood crackhead running through the woods. And
It's just a fucking deer, like on its hind legs.
and even though like authorities and stuff said that everything didn't necessarily add up with that whole encounter of them hearing the screaming, that story like has
Oh yeah.
like stayed like, you know what I mean, has still been
Yeah.
a big part, like that really added a weird factor to that. Because like if you think about it, it could be a bear, but at the same time a bear I feel like would just eat you alive.
No, I mean, but they might not eat you, but they'd stop and look. Like, you know what it was. If it
And
was
a bear is not gonna throw you over
And
its
honestly,
shoulder.
I don't know. I know bears are quick, but I mean, I don't think they're fast enough to where you're not going to know what it
Because
was.
have you ever heard the theory, like some people believe that like all these Bigfoot sightings and shit like that are like bears? Because bears can walk
Yeah.
upright on 2 feet.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. And I mean, bears are big motherfucking, like, they're big creatures.
Yeah.
I mean,
They're huge.
you gotta
and
think
from
of
far away.
It's like
yeah.
a Mini Cooper driving, like, with a wheelie at all times. And
Mm.
you put fur on it. I mean, that's pretty much a fucking bear.
Yeah, a bear. That's the wild thing, though. I feel like I guess I get what you're saying. If a bear would have got him, I don't know though.
Yeah, I mean,
He would have had to get hella lucky for that
Yeah.
bear to not just maul him because he's so vulnerable. You know,
Yeah.
he's a kid. Better spray that fucker with bear mace. That's all I can say.
shit, back in the 1800s, they probably didn't have no bear.
No. Can you imagine that shit?
Dude,
Like
you're out
Native
there and, like, you
Americans
have
had,
like flint knock pistols. Like, you fucking like stuffing the lead in.
You gotta load that fucker up
Yeah.
straight down.
Like, there's no,
Civil
like, just-
War style. Actually, that's like pre-Civil War.
You have a fucking bayonet on the end of your rifle. Like, it's hard to kill.
Hurry up, Tammy! We're gonna gouge this son of a bitch with his bayonet.
We got a boner. Or a fucking bow and arrow.
We're gonna gouge this bastard.
Here is the
Disappearances and the unanswered questions.
So, obviously, Dennis wasn't the only one, or we wouldn't be sitting here talking about fucking feral people.
Yeah.
There's this guy named Trini Gibson in 1976.
It was actually a woman.
Which, was it a woman?
Yeah, she was in high school.
Trini. Damn, that
Yeah.
is a woman.
Yeah.
Well, but in 76, right? And that's honestly not that long. I mean, that's a long time ago.
It was the summer of 69.
But that's not crazy to think about. Like, 79 doesn't seem like that far away.
It's
You know
not
what I
like
mean?
1800s
No,
type.
fuck no.
Yeah.
But anyway, she vanished from a school trip. Polly Melton in 81.
Hell of a name.
Also disappeared while hiking. 1981. I mean, that's really... I mean, but when you think about it, like, you don't know anybody, obviously, still alive from even 1899. But, like,
No.
the 70s...
But
I
this
mean,
is
you're
more
not that
relevant.
old. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like... you know
Yeah.
that it's not just old like tales that were told. Like you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
It's
like
not
it's
just
more.
like some shit that you can't back. Like these,
Yeah.
are obviously. But in '81, she disappeared. You know, she was hiking with a group. But they say that a check in her name was cashed later on, but nobody knows if it was actually her that cashed
And
it.
I actually seen something like that somebody did about her story. And a lot of people, like, she had this ring on, right? That was like super expensive. And keep in mind, she's like in high school.
Yeah.
And the dogs like tracked her scent down to like, I believe it was a road.
Yeah.
And the scent stopped. So a lot of people honestly believe that she ran off with a guy.
Yeah.
Which, even though at the same time her parents claim she didn't date, but they don't. You know what I mean? When you're young,
it's,
like
I mean,
that.
it's like when you lose your virginity, you don't tell your fucking mom, like, yeah, I just got
I
some
did.
ass. Well, I believe that, but, you know, not everybody just, yeah, I got some ass.
Yeah. And to bring it up, like, even more current,
Can I get a cold crack?
go ahead and get your crack.
Cold crack, boys.
Oh my God. But to bring it up to even more relevant and in the time we're in now, in 2012,
The year
Derek,
the world was supposed to end, by the way.
and it didn't end.
It did not end.
Derek Luking, I believe is how you pronounce it, he went missing. His car was found and it was fully packed with gear. So it ain't like he just disappeared on accident.
Uh-oh,
we got a
guest
special
star.
guest, our first special guest.
Sophie is in the building.
Little Soph on the scene. Would you like to say anything to anybody?
No, I think.
You don't want to say anything to anybody?
No, I think.
You don't?
Come on.
Well, I don't have a playground.
Oh, sweetie, it's raining a bunch. If we did have a playground, we couldn't be out there anyways. It's raining.
Hey, she's a guest on this show.
She's a guest.
But anyway, his car was packed down with gear, so it's not like, you know what I mean? It's not
Yeah.
like he was just out there, like wandered upon being in the woods and like being lost, and like he probably intended to.
But I mean, he could have intended to. Well, yeah, fuck, if he had gear. I mean, there's no way. I wouldn't imagine like somebody going into the woods to kill herself, but they bring all their shit with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it makes
That's not
no
something you do.
sense.
Yeah, that makes absolutely no sense.
But he had a note on his windshield, and creepily enough, it said, "Don't try to follow me," which is kind of.
But they could have put that note after. You know what I mean? After,
If
like,
somebody
if he got
would-
abducted or
to make it look like,
like he went in there to.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll never know, really.
No.
And that's the weird thing about a lot of this stuff, is there could be like a more mundane reason for all these people disappearing, but you'll never know, really.
Yeah, no, 100%. But then, I mean, the craziest thing is, like you said, every case, there's no evidence. Like, there's nothing. Like, they found nothing on these people. So, you know, people obviously start to wonder, is there something or someone out there? And a lot of people think this shit's fake. But living in North Carolina, and like I've traveled, obviously I've been out of state. I mean, I haven't been here my whole life. I've been to Tennessee and other mountains, and like in Virginia, like the way people live, like deep in the mountains in Virginia is fucking. I mean, it's literally like
And there's
it's almost like they're Amish. Like, I mean, they have cars but they live off the land.
And there's
quite a
places
bit.
up there too, like when you get off the grid and shit, like there's no phone service.
Oh, no.
There's no,
Fuck
like
no.
you're just out there.
Dude, like driving down the road, every time you're driving down the road, there's a fucking, like you're going to hit a deer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like backwoods living.
Well, and this brings us, you know, to the next part of this story, like
The eyewitness accounts.
of things, you know, people have seen and things of that nature. And it gets straight up creepy. In 1877, gold miners in North Carolina saw a massive wild man with a funnel-shaped head and long dark hair. How in the fuck do you have a funnel-shaped head?
A funnel-shaped head is insane.
That motherfucker can
Wide top, little neck.
Hey, he's changing oil with that tone.
That's what I'm saying, son.
He's out there pouring it straight in.
Man.
Oh, and there is a right quick before you get
No,
to the
you're
next
fine,
part.
you're fine.
There was a big gold, like even around here where we're at,
In
like,
Gold Hill, there's literally called fucking Gold
like
Hill.
gold,
dude.
like there was a big gold,
Like
almost
Reed's
like a
gold
gold
mine?
rush,
I mean,
yeah.
yeah, no,
and that's
there
where like
literally
the
was.
biggest gold. I think like the biggest
The
gold,
nugget, the biggest
yeah.
nugget
And
ever.
this motherfucker used it as a door stop.
Yeah, a
Wow.
door stop or a door knock or something.
Yeah.
Doop, doop. Yeah, no, I remember reading about that back in my day, back when I was in school.
Oh yeah.
But in 1986, hunters, you know, and I participate in the woods. You know, I'd be out there.
Yeah,
hunting.
out there in the wood. Give me the God's country.
But the hunters reported a pale creature with talon-like nails. And when you think like talon-like nails, like a fucking falcon, dude. Like,
Yeah.
Like falcon nails and tusks, like a fucking elephant.
He's got coke nails. Just say it.
Just they said he was full beast mode. I don't know what they mean by that. I don't know if he was fucking something. I don't know if he was just going ham, killing everything.
But he was going beast mode.
But
That's
he
all you need to
was
know.
going beast mode.
But more recently, in 2021, Expedition X featured people who believe feral men are still out there lurking in the Smokies.
Hell yeah. And then we named this segment, it's called Reddit, and more Reddit. These are all, I'm not live streaming, but I'm doing air quotations.
Yeah.
It's all first-hand accounts, but it's also people on Reddit. I mean, people are creative. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like...
it's hit or miss. You
Yeah,
know what
it's
I mean?
kind of like do you remember like creepypasta?
Yeah.
When people would tell stories and shit? I remember when that shit was like a big deal.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. But, like, okay, so one user from North Carolina said they've known about feral wild men since the 30s or 40s. Fast, barefoot, living underground, howling at night, supposedly inbred and totally wild.
Sounds like me.
But if you look at the... Excuse me, I just burped. Sorry, that was a beer burp. But if you look at, like, the Whitaker's family, if you've seen them out in public and you knew nothing about them, you would think that they're feral people. Because, I mean,
Yeah.
the one dude, he was so inbred, he just...
Yeah.
He chihuahua.
A lot
the
of
time.
them like don't communicate. Like they
Yeah,
don't.
no, really.
It's almost like archaic.
Yeah.
Like it's like
They have their own language.
Own language
Yeah.
of what they know. I guess like different sounds mean, and it's kind of crazy.
And I mean, they might be feral to us, but I mean, to them, it might just be normal. That's what they do.
That's
to live,
what they
you know
learn
what I mean?
because they don't have.
Yeah,
They don't
literally.
go to school.
Yeah,
like if you
exactly.
live
No, fuck no.
way up in the mountains and shit like
No.
that, you're not gonna be going to school
No, you learn to hunt, fish, and fuck
and live.
and live and fuck. Hopefully,
ain't
I hope
much-
they learn to fuck.
Well, they probably do. That's probably why a lot of them are inbred because ain't nobody else up there. So they're just taking what's there. Quite frankly.
Hey, sister, want to see this tallywhacker?
You want to see this wood knocker I got in my drawers? But another group of people said they were hunting and saw what they thought was a bear, and it turned out to be a naked man. And quite frankly, that turns me on.
Very much.
He was hunched over and twitchy like a squirrel. So I imagine this guy.
Dude.
He looks like
I
a
imagine
fucking.
a skinny guy, like Tyler.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all don't know who Tyler is, but
He's good looking.
you know who I'm talking about.
Oh, I know
Tyler.
who you're talking about.
BB Gun Boy, if you will.
Yeah, aka it's not too hot over here.
I imagine a man built like him, but like long ass hair, like our hair, like
Yeah.
just long as fuck, and just like, but like grungy, like almost
Yeah.
dreaded together, and he's just,
His hair's real dirty and he's
It's
like
just-
tweaking out.
imagine it's just a dude that had diarrhea while camping, but he was also
I gotta get to the damn
he
bathroom,
was
fellas.
also rubbing one out, like at the same time while taking his shit.
He's just spanking his shit, trying to hurry up and get to the bathroom.
These people are over here with their phone out, like, what the fuck is this?
But at the same time, though, that kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier, where I said some people do believe that a lot of these sightings, like in any case, like, and I'm not saying this is anything to do with Bigfoot, but stuff like that, you know, a lot of people think it could be a bear.
yeah.
But I mean, I guess you know you got to see it. You got to have that.
Yeah, I
first-hand
mean,
account.
if you've seen it, like if me and you were in the woods, like we were camping or something, like we just wanted to hang out, drink some beers, maybe cast a few lines and just hang out, and you know, we're frying up some bologna for some bologna sandwiches.
Nothing wrong with that.
Next thing you know, an ass naked fucking man comes out.
Ah! He's yelling like Donnie off Wild Thorn. running right past you.
And you just watch them. You're like, what the fuck?
And then you would know, like,
Yeah,
that is not a
that
fucking
is
bear.
not a fucking bear. Like, that's definitely a naked dude, dick out and everything.
I ain't saying I'd hate it.
But in the craziest thing out of all of this shit, they always talk about they're naked, they're bloody, they're blah blah blah.
They're never wearing clothes.
How big is their dicks? Why is nobody talking about this?
If they're living in the woods, they're probably eating tree bark. They're eating off the land. I'm gonna say
they're making their homemade bapple.
They
That's
make
probably why
homemade.
they're feral.
I'm gonna say they definitely. It's
They're
probably
packing a solid 9.
Oh, it's dragging the ground.
Oh, dude, because you got to think they're also not wearing underwear, so gravity's doing its job. with
Yeah,
their shit.
it's just hanging, or
I mean,
like Drake
literally.
said, just swinging.
Swanging. Yeah, I know what you're saying. But, fuck. Okay, yeah, but then, so there was this couple that were gonna hike up to a waterfall, right? And they got to the waterfall, and they said they seen a naked, bloody man, right? Said he had
Cataract.
Okay, I thought it said contract.
He needs a blunt.
It said he had cataract eyes, and he just disappeared into the woods.
So 1 minute he's there, next minute he's gone.
But also the craziest thing to me is, I'm not saying I don't believe this, because I kind of do, but with all, like, everybody has a smartphone in their pocket. Why is
didn't
there
he
no
film
proof of any of this? You know what I mean? I mean, I guess you don't want a picture of a naked dude.
But at the same time, I guess we don't know what year that is true. So
that
maybe
could have happened in like the 90s.
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck are they gonna do?
they're gonna flip out.
pager?
They're gonna flip out their fucking family-sized camcorder that looks like a boombox. But one kid seen a man with a deformed face, and he had like white shrunken eyes and crazy long arms. Do you know what's that?
Sounds like Slender
What's that toy that kids used to play with? It's kind of before my time. Stretch Armstrong.
Yeah, Stretch Armstrong.
And yeah, that will make your skin crawl to think about that. To see that this long arm, I mean, straight dangling, running through the woods. Pretty weird.
But I mean, it's shit's just weird. You know what I mean? Like, if you've seen a motherfucker with like arms longer than his body, like dragging the ground when he walks, like knuckles down.
And it's funny, like, we're like, you know, it's funny to joke about, but if you've seen this shit, it would be fucking terrifying, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. Moonshiners and Mountain Secrets. We named every segment because the plan was to have this guy read all of them. Fat dick on this guy. I'm talking huge pecker.
Oh yeah.
I mean, huge. Knee slapper, if you would. But he pussied out. He said that we were going to manipulate his voice. You know what?
And make him sound a certain way. And we weren't going to do that.
We weren't. You know, we love this man. Been in our lives a long time.
Handsome.
Long time.
Good looking. Well put together.
Sexy, if you would. Can I say sexy on YouTube?
You can say
We're
it.
about to find out.
Yeah. I mean,
we're not monetized. We can say what we want.
He's very good looking.
Anyway, so, you know the Moonshiners have stories. One even claimed 3 naked people approached their still, okay?
They just wanted some mash.
If you're naked and you're going to a moonshine still, you're getting fucked up. You're drunk, okay? But that's the scariest place to be. Because if you go to a redneck and start fucking with his liquor, you're liable to get damn shot out there.
Fucking shot.
I'm not even kidding. Pull up on Chad Grant ass naked and see what happens.
They wanted to pull up for that monster mash, and I'm telling you right now, you pull up on a man while he's chugging on his green lizard, you're bound to catch it.
But they said they had to set a fire to scare him off. I mean,
why would that scare somebody off?
I mean, like, I get it. Like, it scares wolves off. I mean, people do it to scare wolves off, but these people, well, I guess if they're feral, they kind of are like animals.
I guess, yeah, if you look at it like that.
But I mean, these people could have been just pissed drunk. Like, what the fuck is that? And it's 2 cats hanging around.
Well, that's what I mean, too. When you're up there, I'm sure that some of these recollections are
far-fetched,
probably wild, but some of them...
Oh, no, I believe some of them are true.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, there's shit that I've seen, and, like, if I told somebody... Well, not me personally, but you know what I mean. Like, if you really believed, like, you seen goddamn... I don't know, the ghost of fucking Biggie Smalls just chilling in your living room. And you told me, personally, I mean, you've been my friend for a long time, but I think you were fucking needing to be medicated.
I'd
be like, what
you
the fuck
would think I
about?
took a little puff of the meth.
Oh, yeah, you definitely hit the something.
But this all, like, paints a picture, and like living off the grid, they became almost unrecognizable as humans. They've like not humans, but they became more of like I can't explain it, like they're humanoid, like they're I imagine them looking like cavemen.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Like
because,
just grungy.
Yeah, like unconnected, which they are.
Like you can tell they need to shower, but you know.
But and also too, like all these stories, I'll tell you one thing that does add a little validation to it a little bit is the fact that these stories have gone on for so long. Like if you think about all the stories we just told, they go from like the 1800s
Literally.
to 1980s to the 2000s, like, so there might be something to it.
No, I personally. Okay, so the next segment is called "What Do We Think?"
Mm-hmm.
Obviously,
I mean, I think that there is something to all of this.
Definitely. I think there's feral people because, like we talked, it's not in this research because I don't know that it directly, connects to the Appalachians. But like that girl that was randomly found, and all she did was bark, and she'd like eat steak off the fucking bone and shit. You know what I'm talking about?
She was like a fucking dog.
Yeah, she was literally a dog. Like she was raised by wolves.
She was on the news. That's my shoe, by the way.
Yeah, no, but she was real.
She was on the news and all kinds of shit. So it's not like it was like.
I mean, that's not fake. I mean, that's real shit that really happened. I think feral people are out there. I think some of these stories, obviously, especially some of the Reddit stories, I'm not saying I don't believe any of it, but I think they're a little far-fetched. You know what I mean? Especially,
I think maybe
the moonshiner shit's kind of crazy to me because, I mean, if me and you got drunk enough out here,
you would think you see all kinds of shit.
Yeah, I mean, if it's dark enough, you're going to be...
And you're in the mountains.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, that's creepy enough.
Yeah.
You know
I mean, there's like, just like when you're a little kid and you're in the dark in your room and you think you see stuff because it's dark. You know what I mean? It's
I know what you mean. It's like, what the fuck was that?
But, I mean, I also think maybe there are people out there. I don't necessarily know if they're grabbing people, but I could definitely believe that there are people that live out.
Dude, 100%. There's, like, even, like, people that live deep in the mountains. You got, like, a little community, and it's probably not a mile long. You know what I mean? And it's just, like, a little community that lives there. There's probably one general store. You're going there to get your fucking...
A place that probably used to not even have a post office.
You're going there to get your fucking flour, and that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, the rest you catch and hunt. I mean, to the modern person, like if you came down from New York, went to West Virginia, and saw deep mountain people, you'd think they were feral. I mean, it just depends where you're from. Like to us, it's not normal per se, but it's not that far-fetched. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not that far-fetched too, because I feel like the difference is, because you've been there before, haven't you?
Not West Virginia. I mean,
no, not West Virginia.
I've been
but
to
like,
Virginia and I've been in the deep mountains.
But like the Smokies
they
or
called
any of
this,
that.
Oh yeah, they called the place the deep. They called it the Holler.
Yeah.
And, but pretty much, dude, that's the first time I ever hit a deer. Anytime you drive through there, there's a deer. No matter summer, winter, spring, fall, anytime.
And there are deer up in the mountains, and you probably experienced.
And I mean, I didn't hit it hard. It didn't fuck up my car too much. But like, you'd have to think like, I went up there because, I can say my cousin. It was my cousins. They had drowned in a silt pond. Mm-hmm. But I went up there for their like celebration for life or whatever it was called. And but it was just being in the deep woods, and I've been up there before that, but like the way they live is just a lot more simplistic.
Yeah.
To us. And I mean, it's not like bad. It's not like they're fucking. I mean, the word white trash gets thrown around a lot. It's not like they're white trash, but it's just like that's how they were raised. That's what they want to do. Yeah. And it also kind of makes you look and like, as a normal person that's like, we don't live in the city, but we don't live in like the country.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, damn, I kind of wish I could, live that simple. You know what I mean? Just
and
live
be
off
out.
the land.
And be out.
And
there.
they're not that deep into it. They're not like fucking horse and buggy. I mean, they have jobs and whatnot. They drive a car. but just where they live, the house they live in.
They
it's
don't
just,
have
you
like
know.
all the technology
Yeah, no.
and all the. They have.
There's no cell phone service down there. Like, if you're down there, you're fucking. I don't even think you can.
They're
call
not getting
911.
spam calls.
Yeah, fuck no. You couldn't even call the fucking cops if you needed to. Like, it's like deep woods country. But it's also a place where you don't have to lock your doors at night.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's, you know, I mean, it has its pros and its cons. I prefer the way I live. Like, I feel like I'm in the country, but I'm not deep
Into the
You know what I mean?
But
Like,
you can understand
It's
why
Park City.
they
Yeah, no.
like the way they live.
100%. I mean,
And there's a
it's
lot of
enjoyable.
cool. There's a lot of like cool people up there.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, not everybody's just fucking crazy and like, what the fuck are these outsiders doing in our town? Not everybody's like that. You
No,
know what I mean?
I
It's
think
not
that's
like
just
that.
a common misconception.
Mm-hmm.
Like from people that have never been around up there, or like even here, like in the South, people think that people are. You know what I mean? Well, some people think we're overly nice. I guess it just depends on who you ask.
Oh yeah, but see, I remember we went to Walmart one time. Me and my grandma when we first moved back down here. I was 11, 12. We went into Walmart to buy something, and my grandmother like never says this. And this girl was being like real rude. She said, and we checked out, and she was like, "That girl's a bitch." She said, "I don't know what's happened to Southern hospitality, but it ain't nothing like it used to be." And I mean, I get it kind of, but I mean, I don't know. It's not like people are growing up. Like back when she lived here, like back when she was a
People
kid,
grew up here.
it was
and
like country. I mean,
now,
you
now
know.
there's so many people from
Yeah, I
other
mean, it's-
states like the
yeah.
north moving here that it's kind of gotten. It's slowly getting washed.
Yeah, it's
Like
not
the
this,
way things. were.
Eventually, you know, it'll start further up than what we're at. I feel it'll, you know, Virginia, and then I don't think anybody's taking over West
Because-
Virginia, but it'll slowly start to immigrate, and they'll get more and more.
Because I've
know,
seen
city people.
City
people's crazy because you know we're not
Yeah.
like we're not fucking backwoods hicks by no means, but we're
but
we're not like
we're not
fucking-
from New York City.
No, we're not
Or no
from New
shit
York
like
City,
that.
but we're not from fucking the peak of a mountain where we're fucking cooking moonshine.
Yeah,
by
we're
now.
like in a good
Yeah.
middle space.
Yeah, we're in like the perfect medium. I
like
think.
Charlotte's not really far away. I guess that would be the big city if you wanted to
us,
consider.
that, to
yeah.
me, that's the city. I
and,
mean,
and it's
I've-
crazy how
And I've
much
been to
Charlotte.
New York.
Yeah, it's,
I've been to New York.
I've never
been
been
to New
to
Jersey.
New York.
Well, I was like 10 minutes away from the city, but
Yeah.
I've been in New York.
I
but
have
not
no
New York
interest
City.
of going to New York.
No,
New York. No
I
offense.
I didn't want to go, but obviously, you know my girl. That's where her people are from, New Jersey.
Yeah.
And her mom grew up 10 minutes away.
I just
from the
wouldn't
city.
want to go to New York because there's so many people. Like,
No,
I'm
it's
sure
scary
there's
to be
cool
there.
people in New York. Like, it's nothing
Yeah.
against New Yorkers,
But I mean, you could
but
get
it's like
fucking robbed. Like
it's
nothing.
too much going on.
Yeah.
But one cool thing I feel like New York has is like you can order food all night. You can buy like liquor at like a what do they call
Yeah.
them, bodega. You can buy it from
Bodegas.
the bodega.
And the thing that I like about New York, which is kind of like crazy, but like the diversity of people there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of like Italian people immigrated to New York. And you see that
There's
like, you go
Puerto
to a
Rican
shop. Yeah,
people.
everybody is in New York. I don't know why everybody wants to be in New York, but I mean, fuck it. I mean, New York has, I feel, the most diverse. Of any state there is.
Well, I think a lot of that has to do with like New York has always been looked at even before like even more. I feel like, and it's like considered like
The immigration state, maybe.
yeah,
Is that what-
the place.
No, I know what you're trying.
It's
to
like
say.
it's like the place that you come to in America to change your life. To you know what I mean?
To get a new start.
To get a new
New
start. If
York.
you're coming from New York.
In New York. Know what I'm saying?
Concrete jungle with
yeah?
rats and roaches.
That's the thing that throws me off is the fucking rats. It would be. Look, honestly, I know you say you have no interest in going to New York, but when you're 10 minutes away from it, you're going to be
Well,
like,
if
fuck it,
I
let's
was
ride
10
through.
minutes away.
Yeah, I mean, if you're
yeah.
going up to visit your girl's
If
family
you
or whatever.
random question off topic, if you could go to one state in one northern state in America, which one would you go to? and
What
why?
do you consider northern? I've been through most of them.
like? You know what I mean by northern?
I mean,
Like I'm talking about like
let me look at a fucking map real
New
quick, boys.
York, Massachusetts.
I drove through most of them to get to like Jersey.
I know which one I'd probably go to.
I would go. You could consider Vermont.
Yeah, that's one.
I'd go to Vermont just because, summer, no bullshit. This is serious. They were in New York and they snuck into the Niagara Falls.
Oh,
They
yeah.
got held by customs. No
Really?
bullshit.
How old were they?
I don't
when
know
they
if
did
it was
this?
her personally, but I know her mom and dad did. But if she was there, she was a kid. She wasn't old.
Because Niagara Falls has like an American side and a Canadian side.
You know what?
though.
I lied. I would go to Pennsylvania only for the sole purpose. I've drove through Pennsylvania before.
Of
I've
going
been
to an
Pennsylvania.
Eagles game. That's why you go.
Shut the fuck up. Don't ever disrespect my family like that. They sell
Don't
these,
lie.
They sell
You
these,
want to give up your cowboy
Fuck no.
fanship.
No, fuck no. But they sell these hot dogs with the skin
I've had
on.
one. They're
the best
fantastic.
fucking I would buy out a fucking store with them hot dogs.
They're
and bring them back
fantastic.
home. And that is the only reason I
But
choose
what are those
Pencil- And that's Philadelphia. Oh, wait, that's in...
Well,
that's
it's in Pennsylvania.
I'm a fucking idiot.
I was going to say,
But that's why I choose Pennsylvania, honestly.
I would probably choose
Vermont
or Maine.
Vermont's a second for me.
I want to go see. Have you ever seen
I've never
Stephen
been to
King's
Maine.
house before?
No. But I'd like to.
It looks pretty cool.
Yeah. You've went?
Fuck no. I've never been. The farthest north I've ever went was like
Probably Pennsylvania.
Annapolis, Maryland.
Yeah.
That's probably the.
You've never seen a home game for the Eagles?
No, I would love to. Anybody that wants to send money to me to go to the Eagles game, let me
Send
know.
us tickets. I would. I'll pretend to be. I'll wear a Cowboys jersey. Nah, I'll get my ass beat, dude.
I wouldn't
fucking
let
people
nobody.
don't
I
play
wouldn't
about
let
football.
nobody whip your ass, but you couldn't wear a jersey. You'd have to stick to a t-shirt.
Yeah, I'd
No, that would be so awful because then people would be trying to whip your ass, and I would want them to whip your ass, but I wouldn't let them because you're my friend. I'd be like, look, you
I'd
can't
go
whip his
just
ass.
for this.
It'd be cool.
Yeah, yeah, I'd definitely go for free. I wouldn't pay to go to Philadelphia.
Don't
I'm
lie.
sorry, but
you
I
would
wouldn't
love to
pay
go to a game, and that's
Philadelphia.
okay that you're a fan.
Yeah, a fan is crazy.
Well, I was gonna say
We them boys. Is that what you were gonna say?
no. I wasn't gonna say that. The Cowboys are fucking trash.
I'm gonna agree, even though I'm a Cowboys fan.
Y'all
I'm a
just
dog
don't. I don't want to get into a big deep dive about it, but y'all just don't. You don't.
fan. We don't play like
enough.
we care.
No, and you don't. Like, look at Dak Prescott. He's washed, and y'all
Yeah.
still have him.
Yeah, no, I have no idea why. I've said. the
But
same
y'all
thing.
did that with Tony Romo.
Yeah.
You held on to him for a long time, even though he was good during the regular season. He was a choker,
in the playoffs. Just
And you
our
held on-
current.
and then you held on to him too long. Y'all don't do enough.
Yeah, no,
But
I agree.
God
100%.
forgives you.
I-
And that's all right. Get him back to God's country. But anyway, thanks for hanging out with us. This is the Clocked Out Conversations podcast. If you like this podcast, want to see some more, or wait on the future ones, go ahead and follow, share. And if you have any insight or any opinions on what you want us to do next, any kind of hauntings, any kind of like true crime,
Unsolved mysteries, anything.
anything, just let us know and we might get to it next.
And if you've got a story from the mountains, we definitely want to hear it. So DM
Yeah,
us
so
on-
reach out.
on Instagram. Hold on, give me 1 second. I think it's Clocked Out Convos with an underscore, but let me make sure. No, it's just Clocked Out Convos on Instagram. So if you have a story, I would definitely love to hear it. We're kind of local to the mountains, so it kind of hits home. We're gonna try just for a little bit until obviously, there's only so much that happens in North Carolina.
Yeah.
But we're gonna try to stick around to like local North Carolina stories.
And we're gonna keep building and doing more
Yeah,
and
for
do
sure.
live streams.
Live
and all
streams are
that.
definitely coming soon. We've looked at some equipment. We've priced some equipment. And, it's just a matter of time. We'll be live streaming this on YouTube or wherever.
That'll be cool. And then people will be able to like send live comments. Like,
yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean?
And like we can read, interact more. I think.
Can you read?
Barely. Barely. 4th grade level over here, bud.
I was gonna say 6th grade level on me. I'll handle the big words. But anyway, until the next time, this was the Feral People of the Appalachian Mountains. It was a fucking blast. Y'all stay
Stay safe out there.
until we see you next time. Have you a beer?
maybe a couple.
Have you a whole case.
Shit. I mean, if you can handle a whole case and not throw up all over your wife in bed, go ahead for it. Or if you're a woman, if you can handle a whole case and not throw up on your husband.
Do the
it.
Ozzy Osbourne 6000 and snort a line of fire ants. and until the next time,
Peace.
this is a clocked out conversation. See you later.
Peace.